Here we are above EduNation Islands in the virtual world of Second Life, which has just celebrated its 15th anniversary, actually. I'm going to fly over here above the islands to the center of EduNation 1, where we have a sandbox, which is an area where people can build stuff. But one of the main features we have on these islands are holodecks. Those of you who know Star Trek, of course, know holodecks. The idea here is I've built a number of things to put in the holodeck, and this gives people access to something like 120 different scenes. Now, all of these scenes are to lead to language production, language practice, but also play. So here we've got, for example, a forest scene, and the forest scene is going to pop up right here in the middle of the island, but it'll give people this immersive feeling of being in a forest. We've got the main area here for sitting. This is just to sit and talk. But why do that in a recreation of a regular classroom when you could do it in something much more pleasant? And again, if we zoom out, you will see we're still same spot on the island, but we've just created this sense of immersion instead. Let me clear this one out. Another way you could use something like this would be to do a simulation that you could use for something like making a movie inside this virtual environment. So I'm going to pull up a different scene, a good science fiction one, and in this case it's a Galaxy-class starship. Here we've got the bridge of the Enterprise from Next Generation, and you can see it's a pretty good simulation. And then with this, of course, we would have access to other parts of the ship, if I so choose. I could have, for example, the sick bay, the captain's ready room, pretty extensive area where you could do these sorts of simulations where students have to create a script, make the language, and act things out. And you can see, of course, you've got the possibility of your complete nerdy Star Trek uniform, as I have, even though it's not for the right ship. And clear this one out. Let's take a look at one more. Because you might also want something, I suppose, like this. Let me go back to scenes. I'm going to go to education in this case, and I'm going to open up a marketplace. This is one I built that's meant to kind of simulate a sort of generic European marketplace. Let me get out of the trees here. And the idea being, let's say you've got a group of students in France studying English, a group of students in the US studying French. Some of these markets are empty right now, but here, for example, you see a bakery. Over here is going to be for a fish and meat market. And over here, something like a fruit stand. The idea here would be that you would have a group of students studying one language who are playing the role of the people selling and the others buying. I have some HUDs that I've made where they can actually give each other's euros and the fruit and that sort of thing. And then you can count up who the winner is. Right? Good game for language learning. Other things we have in here that again are just meant to be used for fun would be things like toys to travel across the water. So I'm going to open up a little gate here. Looks like a door. If I click on it, it's going to take me over to EduNation 3, which is right next door, which has a lot more water areas, as you can see here. And what this does is gives us access to things like this. Here's some bumper boats, paddle boats, little sailboats. You can see it's going to res out here that people could ride on. Here's a surf glider, we call it. I'm blanking on what it's called in real language. And again, things that just give students something to do together. While they're doing it, they're going to talk. They're going to engage in play. They're going to engage in language practice. One more quick area. This is going to take us up above EduNation. Actually do about 3,000 meters. We've got a sim up in the sky here that is kind of a bigger forest scene, as you'll see here as it reses around. I'm going to just zoom out a little bit so you can see where we are. And as you can see, we're on an island. Oops. A little funky graphics issue going on there. There it goes. There's a castle over here, which actually is quite nice. I've got a dance center set up in there. Also the possibility for horseback riding. You can see we have horses over here. Anybody can come up and grab a horse to ride. And there are trails that go all through the island. The idea being, again, give students a place where they can play, and while they play, they're producing language. Producing language means learning language. There you go. There's a quick look at EduNation. Bye for now.